Sorry, guys. No audio. I apologize. I just seen it. Sorry. Breaking the NQ down on the 29th of January, and looking here on the NQ. The reason I've got this up is this is the half an hour time frame, and this is what one of the members, Sam, in the room has been working on. I'll just explain again. I am long on the NQ. I was short on the overnight, up $4,000, and I have some other long entries down here at 26,050. The reason for the trades at the moment to the long side. Why is none of my screens working? Don't know what the hell's going on here. So let me just try and put this back. Technical difficulties this morning. There we go. For geez, what is going? There we go. So, anyway, sorry. So this indicator that Sam's been working on in the background, this is for anyone that has the CMP indicator suite. This is the weekly ATR high at 26,162. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is just because it kind of depicts a really nice level on the overshoot. The weekly overshoot is on average where the highs are before closing below. I think that's right. Sam will be able to correct me on that if that's wrong. But anyway, that line is so far what's acted as resistance. Now, the only reason I'm long on this is because there is an indicator here that gives us a 57, 58% likelihood of going up around 100 points from this entry. And also, on average, we close above the weekly high. So if we do trade that weekly high, we do tend to close above. Now, it is Thursday, so of course, we could still be below today, but close above tomorrow. So just be aware of that. The only thing I would sort of say with a caveat to that is obviously you've got higher edge on the side of the long side as opposed to short. So if you just looked at this from a pure black and white stance, you got a 58% likelihood that we trade 100 points up from where we are. Now, if we look at where we are from this dot here, this cross here, 100 points is going to take us back up into that weekly. And if we actually go for even just 200 points, it gives us a still 55%. So again, it's a small edge, but it is still an edge. And of course, if you coincide that with nicely with some halfway backs, etc., inside here, you've got additional confluences that we can use. So anyway, that is the weekly overshoot level. If you want to mark that on your charts, it's 282s. I am going to be making these available for you guys as well. Just give me some time whilst I work on them in the background with Sam. But the weekly overshoot has been tested 3 or 4 times. That is where your overhead supply is going to be. And that's what I'm going to class as my premium today. So if we go over to my main chart, you can see I have my fair value and my premium zone. So on the half an hour time frame, you can see here we have, this is where I'd like to see if we can come down to. The only reason why I'm long now, and I'm not necessarily waiting for that price to trade, is because we've already traded it. We traded it pretty much on the earnings yesterday with Microsoft and Meta. We then had the discount bid long on the overnight. Now, I was obviously asleep at this time, so this could very well be the low. So I don't necessarily know if this gets tested. All I do know is if this does get tested, this would be a really good double bottom long. So I will class this as my fair value support until proven otherwise. And I've made it into a bit of a zone just purely to give us some range here from pretty much 80s all the way down to 40. So there's a nice 40-point range here. Just be aware, I will definitely nakedly bid this level if we come down to it, right? Regardless of whatever you think about price at that time, I will take that long. And if it fails, it fails. But that is a great support long for me if we get it. And in terms of highs, it'll be all of these overnight highs, and it'll be pretty much trying to take out yesterday's highs back up into yesterday's RTH and ETH highs, which is what lines up there at 385. So from a risk to reward point of view, this is a really good trade. I mean, even if it's from where we are now, and you give this, what is this? What even a 1-to-1 risk to reward here is, 200 points, let's call it, for a 200-point drop. You got a really nice 1-to-1. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's a trade to take. What I'm saying is the risk to reward on this is worthwhile if we come down. So if you see, if we do come down to the fair value, you're then giving it anywhere between 80 points and you've got 200, 300 points. Like even just back up to the overshoot line is 2R trade. So whenever you get these trades that are above 1R with a 60% win rate, even higher than that, they're just such a good trades for me to take. So this is currently a 2R, even if I run this back up. Just where's that 100 point takers? 100 points off this entry here takes us back up into pretty much 670, 270s. So 270s, pretty much where I just drew. Yeah, back up into the overshoot. Let's just call it back up into the overshoot, right? So long at that fair value if we get it. And I mean, 180 point trade, I could risk 100 points, and it's still, I mean, even a 1.5R trade, right? You know, it's a phenomenal trade. So what I'm trying to say is all of this area here is going to be pretty much fair value for me if we do get it. Max pain is obviously going to be ETH low, and we know the stats on the ETH low, so I'm not going to reiterate them for anyone. If you want to ask any questions about that, ask them in the trading room, but we know the stats on the ETH low. We know there is edge there. So, but other than that, it'll be a bid on this fair value zone at 20,080. And I'm already long and accepting the risk if we do get a bit of a pullback. But the reason I'm now long at the moment is because we are still inside what would be classed as a full halfway back. Now, why am I bidding this halfway back if I'm expecting price to maybe come down? I don't know for sure that it will. All I do know is if it does, I will add to it, and I'll probably get an average at about 79% because I'll be bidding the 0 line, and I'm already long from the 50, so I'll probably get about a 75% average, which for me is still pretty decent because I'll be selling into the 23, which again is like a 5R trade. So anyway, and also, because we've already traded my fair value zone and I'm using that as my support, I don't know if we're going to go there on the open or today. We could just literally rally from the open and it could just be a grind higher, a slow grind higher. I'm not expecting a huge day necessarily. Knowing we're above this overshoot, you're probably going to get, you know, anywhere between 100 and 200 points. The ETH session we have left 185 points. We've already traded for 53%. The RTH obviously hasn't opened yet, so we don't know about that. But the weekly is at 123%, meaning this is the highs from, where are we? Go back to this chart here. The highs from what was Wednesday got to 123% on the week, and the monthly is at 75%. So the monthly we do still have range up to 26,800, and we've pretty much got today and tomorrow to do that. So it's not necessarily a bad thing trying to play the range here for 600 points. We've got today and tomorrow left. We could get 2 really strong days going into the end of the month, which is typically what we do like to see. So yeah, that's the thesis on the long side. Don't really have anything for the short side just yet. Can the short side trade? It can. I would just say it's probably more likely that we trade the long side. So I would rather be on average on the right side as opposed to be disappointed if I take a loss on a day where I feel like the bias is correct on average. Okay, other than that, guys, I don't have anything for gold or YM today, which are the only real 2 things I would look at. I would really, we traded gold in the trading room, basically the ETH low on gold, which traded, as you can see here. Really nice trade on the ETH on gold, came down to the ETH low and sold into those highs. So pretty much traded the ETH low into the ETH high into the ETH low into the ETH high. So really nice play on gold this morning, playing those ranges. And yeah, other than that, guys, I will see you all in the trading room. And if there's any questions, let me know live on stream. Oh, one last thing. There's one last day till the offer ends for the year.